Good morning, everyone. It is great to be here and meet all of you today. So today I'd like to talk about the 4 great principles of Won Buddhism. From the early Won Buddhist history, these 4 great principles of Won Buddhism is very important goals, practice for each and every member. Every member, without exception, should learn, practice, and exemplify the 4 great principles, guiding and educating future generations through this practice. As you see in the doctrinal chart in the Won Buddhist scripture, the truth of Ilwon is the center of the chart. And these 4 great principles are like 4 legs of the turtle in the chart. So this is like one unity of all teachings, but the truth of Ilwon Sang is not confined to an idea or concept. It is something that should be used consistently when you use our mind and body, 6 sense organs. When Ilwon Sang is applied in faith, practice, and vow, it will come to function when we use our mind and body. So keep in mind, the symbol of Ilwon Sang, the truth of Ilwon Sang, is kind of symbol, but we need to go into the reality, what it is. So in the Dharma words of Ilwon Sang, Master Sotaesan wrote, once enlightened to the truth of Ilwon Sang, we will know that the triple words in the 10 directions are our own property. Or we will know that all things in the universe are non-dual despite the different names. Or we will know that this is the nature of all Buddhas, enlightened masters, ordinary humans, and sentient beings. Or we will know that the principle of birth, old age, sickness, and death operates like spring, autumn, summer, and winter. Or we will know that the principle of the retribution and response of cause and effect operates like the alternating predominance of yin and yang. Or we will know that this is perfect and complete, utterly impartial, and selfless. So as you see that Master Sotaesan got enlightened the truth, and look at the truth like jewel in your hands. See this perspective and this way and that way, all different perspective. So do not forget the or part. So each line is the essence of the truth. And so look at the space and time, triple word and 10 directions, space and time, past, present, and future, everything is our own property. We are owner of this true word. And contents of this time and space, everything in here, all things in the universe, that's all different names, but it's one. Non-dual, non-duality. And essence is the same as Buddha and Bodhisattva's enlightened mind and our ordinary humans, our original nature, where the original source of the whole universe is the same, identically same. And this change of your life, human life, birth, aging, illness, and death is like spring, summer, winter, and fall. It's 4 seasons change. The same way our life change in that way, not just human being, but all other living beings. And cause and effect. Like when this hot summer, we cannot imagine the cold winter, but it's coming because that yin and yang working together. So whenever you plant the seed, you will receive the result very correctly as it is. It's the principle of cause and effect. How much you know how much you understand, how much you enlighten to this truth, your action change. So finally, we will know that this is perfect and complete, utterly impartial and selfless, this truth. So this one sang is to be used when you use our eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind. It is perfect and complete, utterly impartial and selfless. So look at the scripture and see the Dharma words of Ilwon-sang. You see 6 small Ilwon-sang, each lines. So these truths need to be used in all the time in your life. So as you read the Dharma words carefully and contemplate on it and keep it in your heart and remind ourselves this truth of Ilwon and apply it into our life, we will know that we live in one world, doing one work, as a one big family based on this one truth. I think these 4 great principles are connected to each other to support our faith and practice of the truth. And yesterday, in dinner time, I asked Venerable Chuksanim, and he said to me that the right Dharma and the right faith are necessary conditions for the right alignment and right practice. So first item for these 4 great principles is right alignment and right practice. So right alignment means that we are to be enlightened to and model ourselves after the truth of Ilwon, our true nature, and the awakened mind, correctly transmitted by Buddha and enlightened masters throughout the history. And right practice means acting correctly without bias, attachment, excessiveness, or deficiency when we use our mind and body in every situation. However, it's very important that right alignment and right practice are not solely for those who have obtained full realization, like Master Sotaesan. Beginners can also practice them. So right alignment means understanding correctly this correct Dharma. And right practice means acting correctly, appropriate way in each and every situation. Because the universe, all things and all human affairs have their respective principles, and when we proceed with any matter, we should understand the important what is the middle path, what is the correct way to respond in each and every situation. For example, recognizing that we shouldn't react with true anger in some situation. So when we are angry, so when we realize it, that's the right alignment at the moment. And striving to act accordingly and transform the situation in a skillful manner. So do not express your anger in that situation. That's the right practice. And think about this morning, your dish. When you find some food and put it in your dish, if you attach to any color, smell, or something your favorite, unfavorite. So pick and choose the food. That's not real practice, right? So that moment, realize, see things as they are, and using not too much, not too small, but right amount in your dish. That's the right practice. So Venerable Jasanim said that after we have achieved consistency in our words and action, and consistency of our appearance and inside of our mind, and consistency of our knowledge and action, and consistency of your alignment, your true action, then we could be considered to be unified with the nature of Ilwon-sang and be perfect and complete, utterly impartial and selfless. So that's the process to gaining the state of mind and the state of action as we practice over time and following wholeheartedly right after this truth of Ilwon. So for me, even achieving the consistency between words and action is difficult. So as a chaplain at the Institute, I'm used to use many kind words for people who have some difficulty. I will pray for you. I'm thinking about you. I hope everything goes well with you. And in the end of the day, I think about, reflect myself, how much time I spend to really pray for that person. And many people I met in the day, but my words and actions should be matching. So how I do it, writing journal is very helpful. Do not forget what you said, and just consistently write action after that. And this all training of meditation and mindfulness items you're following throughout the day, and this kind of retreat, everything helpful for us to stay consistency with your words and deeds and knowledge and action and your insight and true action. So as you practice this right alignment and right practice, we can feel more openness and humble and compassion in our heart. And it is leading towards understanding the interconnectedness of all things in the universe. As a one family and one household, and naturally we can understand better the awareness of grace and require of grace. So this is a second item of principle, great principle of Won Buddhism, awareness of grace and require of grace. So this means that we put gratitude into practice by deeply feeling and knowing the content of the grace we have received from heaven and earth, parents, fellow beings and laws, and modeling ourselves wholeheartedly on that way of indebtedness. Just as fish living in the sea, in the water, are unaware of the great grace of water, we too live our lives depend on this fourfold grace. For example, air and supporting of the earth and trees and nature and our parents and fellow beings, all those support. We cannot live without all of them. But aware with open heart, and by deeply realizing and acknowledging the grace of this fourfold grace, we should learn to use and apply our heart as vast and deep as the heavens and earth and mountain. So when you're following the path, and your existence itself really giving benefit to others. Third part of our principle, great principle in Won Buddhism, is practical application of Buddha Dharma. It means that we should not be incapable of handling worldly affairs because of being attached to the Buddha Dharma, but instead be able to handle worldly affairs even better because of being a Buddhist disciple. Through the Dharma, the goal is to become a person who is useful and helpful to individuals, families, and the nations and the world. Useful people. So in the past, spiritual practice and daily life were separated, black and white, secular and sacred. However, Master Sotaesan said that from now on, as we build a new world, the religion of this new world will not separate spiritual practice from daily life. It will be a living religion. In the old world, our lives were divided into a religious life and a secular life, with religious faith and practice focusing solely on enlightening the spirit while neglecting daily living and worldly matters. But we cannot do from now on. When I first became an ordained Won Buddhist Gyomunim minister, early 20s, I had great interest in study and practice learning about this Dharma, but I lacked the ability and interest in quickly handling the professional daily task or dealing with matters efficiently. So therefore, after becoming a Gyomu, Won Buddhist Gyomunim, I had much to learn about administration, gardening, managing the temple, and financial matters very diligently, but still I'm working in progress. But I feel that my spiritual practice enhances and empowers my ability to live as a member of this society and growing up with this study and practice. The essence of a living religion is that practice and daily life are continuously interconnected in every moment of our lives. So even if we don't set aside special time for a long meditation retreat, when you write a diary and reflect on our day mindfully, the materials of our daily body and mind activities become great resource, great mind study materials for realizing the truth. By comparing them with the teachings, what we learn from Won Buddhism, we experience joy in our hearts as if receiving direct guidance from great Master Sotaesan, our founder, or sages and saints in the world. This is a process of gaining enlightenment in our daily life. When I ask how to better attract students to one Buddhist studies program in one institute to one of our professor, and what she said is that, think about your favorite food. And she said, I like steak. So I know how to cook, but if you didn't really taste it and just pointing out the raw meat and say, if you cook this way and that way, it will change from the color and very tasty and it's very good for your health. But not many people really buy the raw meat without any experience, right? The best way is you really cook and eat it and you're inspired by the food and talk to people, sharing your experience. This is this kind of smell and taste, and I like this part and that part. And it's really good for your health too. Then people really buy it. That's the selling point. So this is a point. If we really practice this Dharma and you're inspired by this practice every day and share with your friend and family and students, and they will interested in to joining our community, right? So that's the key as we apply the Dharma into our daily lives, and we are deepening our understanding of our original nature, Buddha nature, and acting accordingly whenever we use our mind and body in our daily lives is helpful for ourselves and others. And selfless service to the public is the last item for these great principles. Is another important principle that we should, the meaning is that we should abandon thoughts only of ourselves or our own families and self-indulgent conduct and devote ourselves with sincerity to the noble task of delivering sentient beings through an altruistic Mahayana practice. The four great principles of Won Buddhism ensures uninterrupted practice within daily life, not just for ourselves but for everyone else around us. In the process of learning Buddhism, we realize that there is a suffering due to the illusion of separate self exists. This is mine, me, my family, my community, and that creates division, that creates suffering, that creates violence too. So when we understand the interconnectedness of all beings and the impermanent nature of all phenomena, we can let go of our attachment and gain freedom of our mind. However, that's not enough. This realization of our true nature is not enough to create paradise on earth, this real world. We need to live together harmoniously as one family and one household in this global village. We are citizen, member of this society in whole world with these four great principles, learning about selfless service to the public, because we are actually one family. So do our best to do without sign of self, the good work for ourselves and others. So as I'm looking at each and every one of you, I trust that we are true Buddha and Bodhisattvas who devote ourselves with sincerity to the noble task of delivering all sentient beings, which is manifestation our Dharmakaya Buddha, our true nature, through our own action. Then you can do the task. So each and every moment, remind ourselves this truth within us, this truth of Iran, the Buddha mind, Buddha nature within us. And whenever you involve in work or meet with people or whatever you do, using this Dharma into your life, that create peace in yourself and peace to the world. Thank you for listening to my talk today.